Ben was brought in because he won the NCAA 10,000 meter championship, Division I championship that year. His agent got to me. I was pretty much done getting athletes, and he said, would you like this guy? And I was like, well, and at this point, late in the season, when an agent asked me, I said, well, what's he going to add to the race? It's always about what can they help the race with. He said, well, he won the, oh, yeah, absolutely. And then he found out he's Michigan, and I knew Scott's daughter was at
went to Michigan.
I went, because housing is always a problem, I went to Scott, and I said, hey, this is a Michigan grad, you want him?
And so now Scott Gelfi owes you his granddaughter.
Yeah,
and that's the moral of that story.
I don't think he likes it when I tell him that.
I can't imagine Scott liking that either. Hello, and welcome to Runnah, running on Cape Cod, Massachusetts and beyond, and welcome back to your favorite local running community. I'm Juliana, your host. Welcome back, friends. And this week, we have a special guest, a Falmouth running legend, as I will say, as he lives in my head, at least. We have Matt Auger with us today.
Thank you very much, Juliana. I'm really happy to be here, very happy.
Yeah, I'm happy to have you. And like I was telling you before we started filming, you're one of the people who kind of inspired this podcast in a way, unknowing to you, and just made me realize like how interconnected the Falmouth community, running community is with like the globe, essentially. Like not even just like Boston or like the United States, but like literally the entire world of running. It's wild.
Without a doubt. I mean, you can go anywhere and you can see Falmouth shirts, or you can talk to someone about running and they either want to be to run Falmouth, or you know, and then once they get here, they love it. They know different parts of Falmouth for running. I mean, it's been one of those treasures that I've had in my life that I almost didn't realize I had, because when you grow up here, and all I knew was running in Falmouth.
Yeah, it's just the standard.
Yeah, it wasn't a big deal for me.
Yeah.
I started running in high school in my sophomore year, and that first year, the first race I ran, I won. It was a rookie race, but
casual.
But then I went on to be on the state Division I winning high school cross country team as well.
Okay.
It was less to do about me and more this phenomenal group of guys that were there, and I got to jump on board. And so I started my love affair with running, and in 1988 I started working for the road race.
Oh,
and that
okay.
just turned everything up a notch. I also, 1988 was the first and quasi-only time I've run Falmouth. I had only run it once. The rest of the time, from 1988 to 2021, I worked them all.
Have you run a Falmouth Road Race since then?
Yeah, we had a reunion of our the state champ winning cross country team, and they convinced me to run it. I kind of stepped back because I wasn't with the race anymore. But I had asked if my 10-year-old son could run with me, and they said yes. And so we ran from, I decided to, he was training for cross country, and I decided to sneak in a 10-mile run by running from Falmouth to Woods Hole, and then doing the road race.
I think you'd be surprised, and you probably know too, honestly, like how many people who are locals specifically run to the starting line.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's the buses honestly are obnoxious.
Yes.
Like I understand they're
buses in general are.
Yeah, buses for races in general are not a fun time.
No.
Like no matter how much we kind of like judge them up and like how wonderful the volunteers are, it's just not a fun time.
No.
It's just not a fun time.
You got to pee all the time.
Yeah.
And there's no place on those buses to pee.
Yeah, it's absolutely just like not the best.
Sorry, did I get too runner on you on that?
No, that's okay.
Okay.
We can talk about poop stories, pee stories. It's fine with me. There are no rules here. This is my podcast.
I figured your audience would understand if I said there's no place.
Oh yes, yeah. I've yet to have a lot of people share poop stories with me yet. But if you have a really good one,
I don't actually. I can tell you the only one I have. You want one?
Yeah, give it to me. We're already devolving, and I love it.
2017 or 18.
Okay.
We had the eclipse
Oh, yeah.
It was the day after Falmouth Road Race, so it was August, whatever the day after was that year. Mm-hmm. We got a call from Woods Hole, one of the few residents on Water Street. There's only like 2 or 3, I believe.
Yeah, that's not many houses.
There's not one at all. Somebody during the race pooped in my yard. I want it cleaned up. And so there I was, as the eclipse came over us.
You're like,
cleaning up someone's poop. And mind you, it's not just picking up. It's not like a dog thing where you just pick up.
It's a lot. I
scrubbed it. Well, I scrubbed it, and I made sure that they felt like we did a good job. Yeah. So
I feel like that's less of like a poop story where you're like, yes, this is an experience that I went through pooping, but more of a race management story,
right,
where it's like, yeah, those are things that happen behind the scenes at races,
right,
and it's actually not that uncommon to have to deal with something like that,
unfortunately. Well, I truly don't have my own poop story, so I thought I would.
Yeah, sharing someone else's poop story is just as efficient. We like it. We love it. So, but yeah, it sounds like you just kind of grew up around really high caliber running.
Yeah.
In general.
I mean, back in the day, no shade on Falmouth Road Race now and the quality of runners that they get.
Yeah.
But Falmouth gets closer to level B runners now. Mm-hmm. Back when I started, we were getting top level A world-class athletes. Like, for instance, one year I got to drive Arturo Barrios around, who was at the time the 10K world record holder.
Wow.
For the race, he had finished second, and his wife was pregnant and about to deliver twins, and I had to get him from the finish line to North Falmouth, where his host family was, back to Falmouth to the bus station so that he could get on the bus and go to Boston.
Oh my gosh.
And I had to take the Volkswagen convertible Cabrio as the vehicle. So there I am driving through town with Arturo Barrios next to me, chatting about running, and nothing worked out. We did get to North Falmouth. We got his luggage and everything. Actually, I think the true story is I had to go to North Falmouth, bring him back for the awards ceremony, then get him to the bus station. I did get him back to the awards ceremony, but when we went to the bus station, the bus was so not on schedule that he was never going to make his flight.
Oh, no.
So I had to bring him back to North Falmouth. So I got to spend all this time talking to the world record holder.
That's a Falmouth experience right there.
100%. It was just such a... It really stuck out in my mind as one of my favorites.
That's kind of along the lines of you could just go up to North Falmouth somewhere on the bike path and pass Frank Shorter just walking around.
Right.
And you're just like, there he is.
Right. Mm-hmm. Or the week of Falmouth, you could go running on the bike path and run past a bunch of Kenyans.
Oh yeah, definitely. Big
training.
Time. That's a time when people I'll tell you what, Matt, I've definitely slowed down over the last couple of years, but I've mastered the art of moving faster than I am. And people look at me, they're like, is that an elite athlete? I'm like, you can think that.
You continue.
But I can tell that people are looking for people that kind of look like they might fit. But also, I don't think people realize how short in stature a lot of these elite athletes are. And I'm at least 5 or 6 inches taller than 90% of the I understand. Thank you so much for even looking at me, but
I will say I was never really fast though. I think runners should never try to define themselves as whether they're fast or not.
No.
But we do.
Yeah.
But we do.
And you can I feel like it's better to define yourself personally, your pace. What's a fast pace for you versus don't compare yourself to other people if you can.
Except times that's what they do to us.
Yeah.
So when I was
pain in the butt.
When I was writing to you and I was putting those times, I was like, it's just not fast. And the main reason we never ran together in any of the marathons, and we ran several marathons together, was I wasn't going to be able to keep up with you. So
I'm very good at pacing. That's my thing. Is a lot of I don't really go out at a blazing speed, but the speed that I go out at, I can retain the entire time.
Wow.
Even the 50K I just did, I was almost exactly 9 to 9:20 on a trail too, every mile.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm just a metronome.
I don't know if I have any talent like that.
That's kind of where my talents stop and end.
Yeah.
Like that's it. That's the long and the short of it.
Like it took me quite a while to run a marathon without stopping. I think the first couple I didn't, and then I just had cramping problems. And to go back to our what we were talking about before, of course, I would think I didn't run a marathon if I walked.
Yeah, it doesn't count. That's what I thought of my first marathon too. I thought walking wasn't allowed,
right?
And so I was just like, I'm going to run the whole thing. I mean, like, granted, like my body's actually pretty good at doing that, but like, I'm not dead set on it anymore too. Especially doing trail races too. You're walking a little bit for a trail race, yeah.
Yeah, when you go up a hill.
Yeah, especially you're going up a hill, you're just like, yeah, we're walking this hill. Like this is the end. Too bad. So sorry.
I did 11 goofies.
Yeah, you've done a lot of like goofies and dopies, haven't you?
No, not just one dopey, just and then I guess I would be 10 goofies.
That's still a lot.
I loved it. It was a great excuse on our training runs to do Saturday, Sunday, to do a longer Saturday, but the long on Sunday.
Yeah.
And so you could get your miles up. I came into one of them. I don't know which one it was. It was well into it. And I generally did about a 150 and like a 355 for those two. And I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I got into my crowds in crowd B, so I was really far up. And there was a pace group in there, and they were going to do I think a 4:15 or something. And I was like, well, it's a great place to start. Like,
it's a nice place
I
to
just
ran
a half marathon the day before. So I go up to the group, and they said, well, we do a run walk. And I was like, a run walk? What's that? And she said, well, we run for 3 minutes and we walk for...
The Galloway method.
Yes, exactly. As a matter of fact, we passed him.
Oh, did you?
He was there. It was crazy. But it was, there were so many memories on this. The first thing I said, though, was like, well, I've never done that before. Am I going to hurt myself if I do it? Which is kind of a silly question. But when you're, a half hour before your marathon's going on.
Yeah, and you're going to change your whole strategy.
Right. So
it makes sense. I'd be worried too.
They were like, no, you'll be fine. So I went ahead and I did it. And it was like crazy. It was like 90 people in this group. It was so
and just
big.
all run walking together.
Well, the problem was that when they went walking up here, it was
a domino effect.
It took forever to get to us.
Yeah.
So by the time we started walking, we only had like a minute left.
Oh, yeah.
Which was fine. It wasn't that big of a deal. But the coolest part of it was I stuck with them to the whole thing, and I was the only one left. As a matter of fact, there were 2 pacers. We lost a pacer.
Really?
It was just me and this woman. And the funniest thing is
Wild.
This was back when you went into inside to Sport Disney Sport.
Oh, yeah, World of Sports.
Yeah, World of Sports. You went around the baseball field and you came out onto the highway and it's super hot and you're getting ready to go into Hollywood, Disney. And I turned to her and I said, wait, is it just us? And she said, yeah, it's just us. And so we keep going. We go, I think that was probably like 22 or something.
Yeah.
And we get 2 miles in and she says, well, you're looking pretty good. There's a contest for us pacers. Whoever runs closest to the actual pace that they're supposed to do.
Oh, they win like a prize or something?
Yeah. So she was at 4:15 and I wasn't going to slow down.
Yeah.
I only did a 4:12. It's not like I did crazy or something.
Yeah, you weren't like blazing through like a 4 hours on the dot. You're like, I have 15 minutes off in those last couple miles.
And I didn't walk the last. I remember that too. Here I go, one run, walk the whole thing, and I just. So I love to be able to tell people like as long as you've trained properly for a race, you're a marathoner, you're a half marathoner.
Yeah.
And I really feel like that to me is an important part to it. So early on in my training, I was faster, and I really wanted to be a fast runner.
Be speedy. Yeah, same.
And life has different different ideas.
They have different plans.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't always match what you want.
Yeah.
And then having children also was a big. The first child was okay because for the most part she was with my wife most of the time.
Yeah.
And we got the second one, and now it was like, all right, I just can't leave her with both of them.
I don't know how people with kids like retain any kind of running schedule. I'm like, it's bad enough for me, like having a lot of weird illnesses and stuff, and I'm just like, those are my children. I don't need actual children.
Well, you have dogs too. So,
yeah.
So.
It's that too, but it's just, I think it definitely running as a parent is challenging, for sure.
But I also like that it was setting an example for them. And we, when thinking about what to talk about, I'm in this really great place where I've been able to coach my son. And during the pandemic, we ran as a family. We were all at home, and my kids weren't going to school. My son was in, I think, 3rd or 4th grade, and my daughter was in 6th grade.
Okay.
And I said, look, we're not just going to sit at home. So we ran each day. We ran about 3 miles each day. We have phenomenal pictures from it. We would go to this point in Mashpee. We live in Mashpee, where the sun would be rising, and so we'd get a picture.
That's so nice.
And actually, we turned it into them running the Falmouth Road Race at home edition. So my children at that age, so I think my son was 9 and my daughter was 11 or 12, trained for Falmouth and did it. And they knew that Dad runs and that's what he does. And my goal was never to force anybody else to run, but I wanted them to know that this is a really important part of my life. And my wife started doing it. So now on a typical school day, it's a little bit different in the summer, but I'm up at about 5. My wife and I drive to Mashpee High School where she works. We drop off usually 2 cars, and we run home. We have a 3 to 3.5 mile loop that we run home, wake up the kids, make breakfast, make lunch, and then we walk to school. We have a 2.8 mile walk that we do with the kids every day.
That's really nice.
And it's been like fantastic. Now my daughter has decided running isn't her thing, which is fine.
Okay.
Right? But my son is like a fish in water, and it's been awesome. I mean, I don't mind saying he gets embarrassed when I say, but as an 8th grader in a 4:49 mile.
Wow.
Which I didn't break 5 until it might have been my junior year. And I don't think I hit 4:49 until into my senior year.
I've tried to run a 6-minute mile, and I almost hit 6 minutes flat, and I was ready to vomit at the end. And my body said, Julietta, that was already too much. And I said, yes, it was. We go long, we do not go fast.
Right? Well, I love talking to people about it, though, because the first thing they'll say is, well, where did he get that from? As if I somehow bestowed this talent on him.
Yeah, they all think it's genetics and not actually hard work.
Right, or not just hard work, but just a good base. I mean, he runs. He runs the way he's supposed to.
Yeah.
He's been running for 2 years now and never been injured. He's got an unbelievable stride. It's well put together. It's compact. And we're up to 40 miles a week now.
Wow, that's impressive.
He is up to 40 miles a week. I have an injury I'm nursing, so I bike next to him. He's not going fast at all. And I think he's finally there where he gets it. Like
he's like enjoying running.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's fun to teach him too. Like, this is your time. This is the time when you think. This is the time when you can zone out.
Yeah.
This is the time when you could push yourself, or this is the time when you can just go out and say, I'm just going to get this done, which is exactly what we all do.
Yeah. It's that time where you can decide what you want to do with it. Like, I know sometimes I'll just go out and I'm just going to go connect with nature for like a couple hours and just go run in the woods for a little bit. And I'm just like, it's nice.
Yeah.
You come back, you feel like a better human. You're like, yes,
right.
I needed that. I think it definitely is like really important to show like not only kids, but like everyone else that there is joy in running.
100%.
And that like you can be part of running in a way that feels good to you. Like, you can do a walk run method. You can run the whole thing. You can run speedy. You can run far. You can run slow. You can run like short. Like, it doesn't really matter. You can find how running fits into your like repertoire.
I try to tell people, because I get so many people that say, I want to start running, but...
Then do it.
and I say to them, look, no matter if you're a Kenyan or you're somebody from Falmouth who's never run a step in there, it's the same experience. The first month is going to be hard.
Yeah.
I tell people the third run is your worst. first one is probably, especially if you do it right, where you don't go and kill yourself. The second day, you're like, oh, and then the third day, everything.
You're like, no,
your body's like, what's going on here? But it's so important that you need to just kind of persevere and get through that first month, 2 month. Make sure you're not going out and killing yourself.
Yeah. Get the right shoes, hopefully.
Oh yeah, that
right gear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shoes are something that one I view as a tool, and it's just depending on the terrain, the day, and the weather. You kind of want to pick what you're gonna what you like. You're gonna pick your things, but I remember when I went from those I had $9 Payless shoes when I started running, and then I got real running shoes, and I was like, oh, this is why people are okay running longer distances, because I'm not running on 2 pieces of flat cardboard.
I don't know why I haven't worked in a shoes running store.
I'm surprised that wasn't on your resume of stuff.
I don't even know why. I guess
maybe there hasn't been one local for a while.
I was gonna say that probably the main reason there really wasn't one. Burt's Sports was where the bird feeder store next to Falmouth Inn. That was where we got most of our stuff. I can remember buying waffle racers there, and back in the day, waffle racers and Pegasus were
the Nike Pegasus.
Yeah, but they were really the only choice. And then when I got involved with the road race, I started kind of venturing out. I remember I had Diodoras.
Did Diodora sponsor the road race?
They did.
Wow.
And they were primarily a soccer shoe. They were in the soccer, and they were branching out into the running.
They just started making good running shoes last year. So I don't know what you were running in from Diodora, but God bless your soul, Yeah,
I can't remember. It was so long ago. But yeah, it was just one of those jobs that I never got around to. Despite the other thing that happened was. It's funny because we talked about I was really enmeshed in the industry.
Yeah.
And at one point, or I would say for 90% of my running career, I don't buy shoes. I've been given shoes.
Yeah.
I have connections in the industry that I can pretty much call somebody and get some shoes. I've never abused it. I have a connection now for Hoka for my son, and I don't use Hoka anymore. I did like them, but the person that is so generous to give us shoe codes, actually, I let him know that I was going to be using them for my son, and I really wanted my son to have the opportunity to have a high-quality shoe.
Yeah.
So he's in some really nice shoes. He's in shoes that I could just dream of being in when I was his age.
Does he have the Hoka spikes, the Cielo spike or something?
He has both the Cielo and the spikes and the
Cielo X.
Yeah, the Cielo X2 now.
Yes.
So
the Rocket X3 just came out.
That's fun. He tried the Rocket X2. We made the mistake of going online and reading some reviews, and the people complained about the heel. So lo and behold, we got them. And what's the first thing he said is the heel hurt.
Yeah.
So we also have a Skyward, which actually he's running.
Oh yeah.
He's running all of his distance now. It's funny too. I just read an article where they said, well, young kids shouldn't do most of their running in carbon plates. But again, he's been running super well. I figured, why does he not? One of the things I hear about the plates are that they help with recovery.
There's also just not enough data on this to really make it a conclusive thing. It's something in 20 years that we're going to be able to run scientific. They're working on scientific studies
So in 20 years
now.
when he can't run.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Then we'll come back and be like, see, they were right.
Yeah, right.
The carbon-plated shoes are not good. I think it depends too, because specifically the Skyward X has a very different configuration in the carbon plate than say the Rocket, which is the full carbon plate all the way through the shoe. The Skyward X has this kind of finger style that's partially through the side.
Okay.
So it's a very different. The foam is completely different. It's
a bigger shoe though. It's a big shoe.
That's a big boy.
Yeah, and I kind of wanted that for him. I wanted him to train in a heavier shoe, so when he switched over to the Cielo,
it feels like nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
And
I wanted him to understand that this is what you can do, despite the fact that shoes. Back when I was running, there was a true weight difference.
They're just the little teeny tiny shoes that have this much height in them, maybe, and they're just walking on a pair a piece of flat foam that's largely just separating you from the ground and stopping you from getting glass or tacks on your foot.
Right.
Not really providing that much.
So we talked a lot about Falmouth Road Race, and it's
Yes.
super involved. I started off as an office staff member, working for the Carrolls and the Shermans. I eventually moved to office manager.
Yep.
And then in 2011, I had the opportunity to actually direct the race. So I was the interim director in 2011.
Was it just for that 1 year?
It was just for that 1 year because I applied for the position for 2012.
Okay.
And it came down to two people. It came down to Dave McGilvery and Matt Auger. And I remember thinking, well, geez, this is like playing a basketball game against LeBron James. I mean,
Yeah, you're like, who are they going to pick? It's
right,
a mystery.
right.
Me versus Babe Ruth. I wonder who. Are they going to pick Juliana? Or are they going to pick Babe Ruth in this
Right?
baseball game?
Am I going to be picked last or first? So, but Dave was so awesome. He was like, look, I don't want to do this race without you. I can't come in here where I don't have as much. He had a lot of history with Falmouth. He had run it many times, and certainly being who he was and in the industry, and he had at that point done so many races. He had directed so many races.
He's done a lot of interesting other things in Falmouth and on the Cape too. We actually had him on the podcast
awesome.
already too.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
people can go back and watch that if you'd like.
Yeah, that's right.
But it definitely was interesting to hear from him, like his history here, and also the fact that like no one really ever talks to him about this race.
Right.
Like no one seen. He was like, "This is I think the first race time that anyone's interviewed me about Falmouth for a race." I was like, "Really?"
Yeah.
Like it's 2025, my friend.
Yeah. Well, he also likes to lay low, and I get it.
He's like a chill dude.
So I've run, I think I counted 14 marathons with him. We did 11 Bostons after Boston. So
talk about that a little bit, because that's an odd thing that I didn't know existed until you told me about it, and I don't think many people know that this is a thing.
Right, and people were always confused. They're like, wait, he runs from Boston to Hopkinton? No, not at all. So, of course, the main change, I started running with him in 2014. The main change was when the bombs went off. And so prior to the bombs going off, Dave would go to Hopkinton around 1 or 2 p.m. and run in there, where he would have much more of an opportunity to even see runners on the course, or to have the finish line somewhat still open.
Yeah, when he got through to the end.
When he got there, because the finish line closed, I think, at 5 p.m. or something like that.
Yeah.
So when he started doing it, the BAA had come in and had asked him to wait till the majority of the folks were
wait till
finished.
everyone was done.
So which meant he came into Hopkinton around 4. Now my job with the Boston Marathon is I'm the BAA representative to the Hopkinton Command Center. And a better way to explain it is, for most of what I've done there is I'm the guy who Dave is talking to with the headphones that he has on at the start line.
Okay.
And I'm the guy who says, well, I used to. It's kind of shifted over. The BAA is taking some of that ownership now. But in general, I'm making sure that the start line knows that the race is okay to start. That
Gotcha.
When we start, and of course we have multiple starts. We start with, there's actually a military start that happens at 6 a.m. where we have guys in uniform that go. They march. They don't really march. They're on their own, but they go down the course to the wheelchairs, the adaptive athletes, and then it gets to the pro athletes. So I'm there in Hopkinton. I'm not released till roughly 1 or 2 o'clock because I have to wait till the streets of Hopkinton are clear to be open, and then they can go. So I'll come out of that and I'll usually get something to eat because I start around 3:45 in the morning. Get something to eat.
A nice chill time to be starting your day.
Just
Casual.
Yeah.
3:45 a.m.
I like because there's nobody there.
It is nice, like those rare times when I get up like that early, where it's like 4 or 5 a.m. and like you can watch like the sunrise, and it's just kind of like the chill before the storm.
Without a doubt. And when you're doing something like 30,000 people and like so many moving parts.
Again, just casual, 30,000 people, no big deal.
So he'll usually phone in to me and say, hey, I'm on my way or something like that. He'll get there, and around 4 he'll get in. And we have a little bit, get everybody together. We have somebody that actually fires a gun off, and we start going down course. And now I've run when it's only been 3 of us, myself, Dave, and another friend of Dave's. And I've been there when he had his.
Did he have his son with him, or
his son? His kids have run parts of that run.
Okay.
More recently, when he now doesn't do that. He runs with Wave 2 now.
Okay.
Because of the way the BA has changed his responsibilities. And his daughter did run with him, and his son ran with him the last 2 years. So he's done that for 2 years.
Nice.
But back when we were doing the whole thing from 4 p.m. He did the 7 marathons on 7 continents in 7 days. That group came one year, and I think there was like 20-something people.
Oh,
and then there's always some person who just got a hold of Dave and said, "Hey, I hear you do this. Is there any way
I run with you?"
As a matter of fact, we had a girl named, and she was a girl. She wasn't a woman yet. Briar Rose was her name. And at 16 or 17, she ran a 3:05.
Wow.
She was phenomenal. And she couldn't run Boston.
She's too young,
She was too young. So she asked if she could run with Dave. And I got to be pretty friendly with that family. But
that's awesome.
The other cool thing was we had state police escort, 2 motorcycles, one at the front of our pack, one at the back. And what that meant was every single intersection we came to, they stopped traffic.
Oh, that's very useful.
It was
That's
amazing.
a nice time.
My favorite was 2 favorites was Cleveland Circle, where you run through the center of, I don't know if there's 8. I think I counted one time. There's like 8 different lanes coming into
one spot.
Into one spot. They would stop everybody, and we would just
kind of like
run across, right? And then, of course, Hereford Street, which is amazing for everyone, but it's even more amazing when you have police that are stopping cars. Because I don't know if people know, but when you run Hereford in the marathon, you're actually running the wrong way. It's a one-way street coming from Boylston. So you're running up towards it. They stop the traffic, and then when you make the left onto Boylston, people start coming out of the restaurants and they start cheering. And it's just, Dave was so great to have me do that with him. So the reason why I was saying about the Dave run was because we ran the LA Marathon one time together. We were there for a conference, and actually we helped. We were part of the team that put together the trials that year. So the Olympic marathon trials in
2020 or 2019, maybe.
Yeah.
Was it 2019?
No, I think it was 16. I think it was.
Oh, that was a while.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
2019 was the ones in, I believe, Orlando.
Orlando, yes.
Yes,
yeah.
Okay.
So
slotting things in.
2016. So we went and we ran the LA Marathon, and I'll never forget. We're running down. I don't know where we are. We're like 4 miles in, and all of a sudden this guy says, "Oh my God, it's Dave McGilvery. Do you know who we're running next to?" And I've never felt worse for somebody where all he wanted to do was run this marathon. And this guy is like screaming at the top of his lungs.
Oh my God.
And all Dave wanted to do was
just like finish his race.
Yeah.
I feel,
just be in the race.
Yeah. I feel like there are definitely like 2 types of people too who like when that happens to them, how they react. They got Dave who like, as far as I'm aware and for what you're telling me, he's like a very quiet, like kind of just like chill dude. And then you have me who'd be like, "Yeah, it's me!"
Yeah, he didn't want any of it. But that being said, he was always gracious about it, and always he'd take pictures with folks. And so it was a lot of fun being around him and running. When he was training for the
7 marathons,
the 7 marathons, he says to me, "Matt, come on up. We'll do 20 miles. We'll do Hopkinton to BC."
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So we get to BC. It's only 6 miles. Let's do the rest of it. Okay, Dave.
Like, okay.
Because he's my ride back.
Yeah, that's when you take a deep breath and you're like, I don't have enough energy to kill this man right now. Like, I will go run those last 6 miles.
We were running slow. We definitely running slow because he was in training mode. He wasn't out there out to kill it. I think the worst part of that story, though, is it poured on us. It poured 2018 Boston Marathon pour.
Oh, no.
It was, I felt bad because his brother picked us up to bring us back to our car in Hopkinton. And we were drenched. We were completely, thoroughly drenched when we got to.
And you drenched the inside of that car too.
Oh yeah. His Dave's family was so good to him, and
As I say, his family must be used to some of this at least by now. It's been long enough.
Yeah, without a doubt. So
it's been long enough.
So the other parts that we were talking about, what I did in Falmouth and running, is the road race was such a big part. I an interim director, then I did assistant director. I was still the elite athlete program manager. The mile, John Carroll primarily did the mile. He started the mile. The high school mile, though, was my idea that John Carroll did in 2010, and then 2011, I helped foster it along. The Cockery family came in. The Cockery Gross family came in. They've been amazing to work with.
Yeah.
And I kept the mile going because for a while they weren't really sure if they wanted to do the mile. It was kind of a weird thing. Why are we doing this mile on a weekend when we're so busy? I mean, that was like a 120-hour week for me. And even worse, it was between the expo and then the kids race and then the mile. And then, oh, by the way, there's a 7-mile thing.
The actual thing that most of the people here showed up for.
Right, that most of the people in Falmouth.
I feel like, honestly, the Boston Marathon weekend must be like that, too, because, like, I know what it's like on a very small scale with the Cape Cod Marathon, where you get to Sunday and you're like, oh, yeah, we were all here for this marathon, weren't we?
Right. I think the difference with Boston is when you get to be that big, it's so compartmentalized. And so I'm with the start team.
Yeah.
And to tell you the truth, we're out of Boston. We don't get the craziness. The craziest we get
That's kind of nice. That would probably be my preference, honestly.
Yeah, we get tour buses. We get tour buses that come in. And so if we're working on the start line, sometimes there'll be a whole group of people that come in. So
they just want to watch and see what's going on.
It's just chill. Oh, no, they want to take pictures at it starts here.
Yeah, at the big sign.
And on the start line. So Hopkinton actually puts a detail of police on the start line so they can stop traffic for people to take pictures. So,
that's nice.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Well, I know Boston also closes off the finish line area, which is kind of unique to Boston for the days leading into it, so you can take a picture on the finish line area. Maybe while your makeup is done, when you're looking a lot better than you will at the end of the actual race.
100%.
You're like, that's me at the end. That's definitely me at the end, not the actual finisher pictures. I look great, don't I? Looking really good.
So the other races though I've been involved with in Falmouth was the Cape Cod Marathon. I was really proud to take that over from Courtney Bird. It's interesting.
Yeah.
I've been in these positions where I, stepped into roles after really some legends of Falmouth running were a part of it. Courtney Bird was still involved with the track club at the time, and. We had our challenges. We had some different philosophies. I was really of the mindset that we needed to change some things for Cape Cod Marathon. I also thought it was Falmouth is Falmouth, but I thought the Cape Cod Marathon was just a phenomenal opportunity for running in Falmouth, and it was my idea for the half marathon.
Which was news to me. I didn't realize that was like originated from your as a brainchild of yours.
Yeah, I remembered, not just my goofy experience. It's funny because I will say it was my idea for the half marathon, but it was Courtney's idea for the Chowder Challenge. Yeah, I remember when he came over that. I was like, well, and again, the way I wanted to do things in the Falmouth Track Club at the time, Falmouth Running Club now, was the more minds that were doing it, the better it was.
Yeah. Agreed.
And that's why, and Jack
Afarian
has put in the 5K, which is something at the time it was hard enough to get the half marathon up and going, and really trying to figure out how we were going to do that for that weekend.
And we have the Lobster Challenge starting this year too, which is the 5K. It's the 5K on Sunday and then the half marathon on Saturday.
Very cool.
So
I feel like they should be changed though, because to do.
It would be nice to be able to do it the other way. I think eventually, if we could, we'd want to move the 5K to the Friday potentially, but we'd have to get new zoning or something like that.
No, I mean the names of them, because lobster is just so much better than chowder.
I think it's kind of just cemented in the fact that you get the chowder mug and the spoon, it's just I always tell people too, you get the spoon medal and then you can taste all 39.3 miles in every scoop because it's etched into the spoon, and it technically is a usable spoon.
Yes.
So it's worth it. I feel it's my favorite medal that I own.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's so cool.
It's a lot of fun.
I think he's still Jack's still using the fish.
we are still using all the original Cape Cod Marathon logos.
So that's not original, though.
Ah, okay. Original to me, not
the
original.
fish was my idea too. I was like, wait a second.
Okay,
Matt, we're from Cape.
I have a question for you because no one's been able to answer this question for me.
What type of fish is it?
What the heck type of fish is? I just call it the fat fish because like I don't know what it is, and I tried to look it up. I was doing graphic design, and I like couldn't. I'm like, is this? It's some kind of flounder, I think, but I don't know what it is.
No, what it was supposed to be was a cod. It was supposed to be a cod.
Really?
Because Cape Cod.
It does not look like a cod.
It is. It is. For our fish friends out there, it is decidedly not a cod.
I'm going to put it up on the screen for people so they can determine if they think it's a cod or not.
You know,
but that was not my inclination.
But the person that made them is it's a member. Oh my gosh, I am so sorry. I'm forgetting her name right now. She was a phenomenal member, and she did all the graphics. I just said to her, "Look, I remember saying to her, I want a fish to represent the marathon." I think at the time, Courtney was using the light. I think it was a lighthouse, and I just felt like it was too similar to Falmouth, and it didn't have its own identity.
Yeah.
So I think I said to her.
So we created the fat fish then.
Yeah.
I'm a big fat fish fan.
For the other events, I was like, well, why don't we keep this theme? With the
horseshoe crab,
right,
and then the 5K is the turtle, horseshoe crab is the relay, obviously the lobster is the lobster challenge now, and then we have the fat fish is the half marathon, and the clamshell, and then the quahog as the chowder challenge. Yeah. Which no one can really ever tell what the quahog is because it's just like a weird. Yeah. It's just an odd. We might need to revisit that one at some point.
And I think it certainly would make sense too. But again, my thoughts were, hey, it's Cape Cod. Like I'm so proud of being from Cape Cod and from Falmouth, and let's use what we have around us. You know, somebody told me once, mine the diamonds in your own backyard, and why go and have a different. A seagull. The seagull. I love. That's what got me thinking. For the Falmouth Track Club, we had always had a seagull, right?
Part of the...
And I wanted to keep that theme. That's the thought I had. So
I was just thinking in my head. I was like, why don't we have a seagull? It's probably because the Seagull 6 exists, and it would kind of be a little bit repetitive to have like two seagulls themed races.
So when the Track Club started, I thought they just needed something. They needed a
no, I meant for the marathon, like why we didn't reuse like the seagull for any of the logos or anything.
I'm sorry.
Because it was already on the Falmouth Running Club thing, and it was part of the Seagull 6 already. So I feel like throwing it into the marathon would have been a slightly.
It's a good point too, because for a while the identity of Cape Cod Marathon was strictly Cape Cod Marathon. Yeah. And then when I started on the board, I kept on asking. I'm like, well, is there an entity called the Cape Cod Marathon? No. It's a Falmouth Track Club. So it just was confusing because I was used to like Falmouth Road Race. Yeah. So many people think Falmouth Road Race is a part of Falmouth. We get people all the time.
Oh, that is the biggest misconception. Right? They try to contact the Falmouth Running Club. I pay your taxes.
No, you don't. This is a nonprofit.
Yeah, they think it belongs to the town, and then the train of thought is Falmouth Road Race. It belongs to Falmouth, so I contact the Falmouth Running Club.
Right. Yeah, that's the other thing.
That's usually the train of thought that's happening.
It's either that's part of Falmouth or it's Falmouth Running or Track Club at the time, or Running Club.
And neither one of those are going to get you to the right person.
No, they're not going to do it. So other races I was involved with, the Zuma Women's Half Marathon. I loved it.
I paced that and I announced that. I announced it last year that they did it.
Yeah,
me and Ryan Webber were out there.
It was a bummer that they weren't able to continue doing it. I was a huge fan of women's running because I think people really discount the significant difference in experience for women running.
Oh yeah.
I would say all the time. I would say they need different equipment to run even. And legitimately, not even like a funny joke or something, but like,
even like a running backpack, you need a different like configuration of a running backpack because you have like extra stuff to deal with up here. How it fits is a lot different than someone who's just like completely flat chested, which can also be a woman's experience as well too. But like, there's a lot of things that you have to take into account.
Even just being in a race and the experience that women have.
Oh, yes.
And I was a huge proponent of saying, no, we can have. I remember in Texas, so I went around the country with this race, with the Zuma. We had Zuma Napa, Annapolis, Texas. It was Denver. Of course, the Falmouth.
Cape Cod
In
one.
Florida, we did
There's a Florida one.
Jacksonville. And I was in Texas one time. And for the 5K, so they had different distances in some of their other races. And there was a 5K, and I never forget this. This man came up and he had a bib on, and the organizers didn't want to. The owners of the company didn't want to say no to a man. They didn't want to get into
an argument with
argument, right?
Yeah.
And I remember stopping him and saying, "So it's a women's race. What were you thinking?" "Oh, I'm here to support my wife. I'm running with my wife."
Okay.
Okay. So the race goes off, and the first runner is coming through. I get the word. I was working the finish line. The first runner is coming through, and I look up, and it's that man.
Oh.
But that's not the worst part, because he comes across the line as the first person, and behind him was a 12-year-old girl. And so I approached him afterwards, and I said,
"You can't do that.
What was going through your mind when you passed the 12-year-old who was in the lead?"
You can't do that.
He said, "Well, I just was feeling good." "Well, where's your wife?"
We thought you were running with your wife,
She
friend.
wasn't feeling as good, so she said, "Go ahead, just go."
And that's when you say, "No, I'm going to run with you."
Right? That's what support is. It was one of those things. So I was really a huge proponent of that, and I really wanted it to last. I did I think 8 years. I think it was here 8 years, and that was a lot of fun to put together and be a part of.
It definitely is interesting, just from a female perspective. And also, I'm actually going to be getting involved with the Every Woman's Marathon.
Oh.
I'm hosting 2 panels. They have an event for their screening of the movie this Saturday. I'm hosting 2 of their panels and doing some social media stuff. But Kathy and I have actually already stolen some ideas for them from their marathon. We're going to put like female products at all of the aid stations, and we're probably going to see if we can do some other things to make our female friends feel more welcomed and supported and things like that. So it's even small things like that. If I show up to an aid station, they have tampons. I'm like, "Oh yeah, this is great. This is what a game changer that is."
Right. And how have we not thought about this for so long? Boston has they have a lactation machine carrier. So if you go to the start line of Boston and you need to pump because you could be out there for how long? For 4 hours?
4, 5, 6,
right.
7 hours.
I mean, I'm not. I guess some of them are fast, but if you've just had a baby and you're still
you're
nursing,
probably coming back. You're probably not at peak fitness.
Right. So there's no judgment on that. But they actually will carry lactation machines and equipment from the start to the finish line. And there's a specific, and then they have lactation pods where if
you can just have some privacy.
Yeah, right. So it definitely is out there, but it's just taken so long to do. And when I started working with Dimsey, one of the first races I did with Dimsey was a women's half marathon in St. Petersburg.
Okay.
It was for Women's Running Magazine, actually.
Okay.
Was the connection. And that went away. So when Zuma came up and was doing it, I was really excited to get on board. I actually got on board mostly because they were working with somebody else who I had worked with in the industry. He asked me if I wanted to come out one year and help out. I said, sure. And then they were dissatisfied with him, so they turned to me and they asked if I would handle their operations. So it was really neat. I went through 2 different ownership groups for that race. And when they ended, I think last year was the first year they didn't do it. It was a little
bummer.
Yeah, it was so.
That's a bummer.
My favorite race in Falmouth has always been Paul White.
Oh, that's a fun one, and it's always really hot and humid.
Ridiculously hot.
So hot.
Were you there the year it rained? And I didn't think
I don't know if I
it
was
could
there
get
the year it
any
rained.
more uncomfortable. Except when it's 84 degrees and it's pouring rain on you.
It's still 100% humidity.
Yeah, it was brutal. And then the rain stopped.
Oh, you know what? I was actually there.
And I thought so. I thought because Mike...
I think I might have won that year. Did I win that year? I've won it a couple of times.
I wouldn't be surprised.
My memory is not great when it comes to these things. I'm like, what did I do? I don't know.
But my sister worked for Paul White, and there was a shop. There was a summer business. So when you stand at the finish line, when you're looking down course, to the left there's a garden.
Yeah.
And there used to be a big building there, and that was Paul's Market. So Paul's Market was a summer
No idea.
convenience store, and I use that term loosely because it was like a deli. There was no gas or anything. It was just, and my sister had worked there, and Paul had passed away from a heart attack, so his wife was running the. And I remember, I think it might have been one of the first road races I did. I literally lived, like, I think a half mile or 3/4 of a mile away.
Somewhere right around the corner.
I just would walk over to it. I finished 5th in it one year.
There you go.
That's the fastest. I forget my time, but...
oh, don't ask me about times. I have no idea.
I-
Someone asked me what my marathon PR was the other day, and I was like, and then we looked it up, and I was like 4 minutes off. Not even close.
I remember for that race, at one point, I was like at 27, or I had run it 27 times. So my son has run it, but now, unfortunately, the last 2 years, the other job that I have now is I work for a company called Last Mile Racing, and we time races. It's a racing company. Excuse me. It's a timing company. And I got involved with them because I'd known the owner for a while. I'd seen him at races. He does, I think he had done Falmouth for a little while. And he does a bunch of other races for BA and stuff.
Yeah.
And he needed someone to drive equipment to Houston. Oh. And I was like, well, I used to be a bus driver. I was a bus driver at UMass, in UMass Amherst.
Oh, okay.
I had a CDL license for a while. And,
wow.
I was like, I love doing
many
it.
trades.
So, master of none.
Same.
I would drive. I drove one year, and then they flew me back, and so he asked me to do another race. I think another race, and I said, well, I could stay and work.
Yeah.
And next thing I know, I'm now timing. So we timed Chicago Marathon.
Do you go to Chicago and time it every year?
I don't just go to Chicago. I drive the equipment out there for 3 of their races. They have the Shamrock Shuffle in March, which is an 8K with like 26,000 people. There's a 13.1. They started a half marathon that happens in June. A little bit smaller. It's like 5,000 or 6,000. And then, of course, Chicago Marathon with 55,000 people in October. And then Houston Marathon, I said that. Marine Corps now. They do Falmouth, they do Beach to Beacon, they do Boston. For Boston, it's one of the ones that I don't actually time with, and I don't need to. The equipment comes from Connecticut.
Oh, so it's not like that far of a drive for that one.
No, it's I think an hour from where the equipment is to Hopkinton. A little bit farther, obviously, for Boston, but. So
that's super interesting.
So we're doing Peachtree now, though. So we time the Peachtree Road Race with 48,000 10K runners, and Peachtree last year started putting a timing mat at each mile. Which is crazy. I don't know any other.
Revolutionary.
So I've been at and I bring my son. So my son comes
fun.
along with me. We have a fun drive down.
Yeah.
And then do the race. That's another early morning. I think we're up at the first race. The first start is 6:20.
Wow, that starts very early for a race.
It's Atlanta in July. I mean, I think it was 84 when I was setting up my mats at like 4:30 in the morning. So they need to do it that. I forget. I think it took the race. So the first runners, the 6:20 is the wheelchairs.
Okay.
Or push rim, I should say. I think 6:55 is when the first elite start is. I can't remember if it's women or men.
Okay.
I can't remember. They finish going by us. So 48,000 people, 4 hours around. I think it was 9:50.
Okay.
So it takes quite a while for that many people
to shuffle through.
Yeah, to get through.
Yeah.
So that's why I haven't been at Paul White the last couple of years, and it's fun because
that's valid, you know.
Yeah, right. But my son won his age group the first year that he ran it, and I was really excited for him to have opportunity to run with some of the other great runners in Falmouth, the Gartners. And there's some young kids. There's Owen Langley, which is a phenomenal runner. Mm-hmm. And so I really missed that. I don't let my son race much. I actually don't push him to race much. because at his age, he's more apt to push. And right now
he hasn't learned his limits quite yet.
Yeah, and I think it's important to do the right thing and run smart early on.
Yeah. I feel like that's something that a lot of people, even adult runners, don't know how to pace themselves.
When I ran in 1988 for Falmouth Road Race, I was in the medical tent, and it was not a good experience.
Yes, you and a lot of other people,
right?
I'm sure.
Well, the number one people that do it are that group of people who are not just weekend runners, and they're not elite runners. They're in between, and they just push as hard as they can.
And they're like, it's only 7 miles. It's like, yeah, only 7 miles in 80 to 90% humidity and 80 to 100 degree weather.
Starting at 9 o'clock.
In driving, for part of it, you're running down a beach where there's absolutely no
escape,
no shade. You are turning into a fried egg on Surf Drive.
That's when I ran. That's exactly where I put water on my head, and I swear I heard it sizzle. It was just.
See, I'm like a heat runner. Like my body's super efficient at cooling itself off, and so like I hit Surf Drive, and that's when the whole world opens up to me because everyone else has started walking, and I'm like, I'm ready to go, and I'm like,
to get out of those hills. I know, and people don't understand those hills can be humid. They can be. They can be almost worse than the sun beating on you. But that being said, there's nothing worse than sun beating on you.
Yes, so. It can be pretty brutal some years.
Yeah.
And like anyone who ever asked me, they're like, I don't know if I'm trained enough for Falmouth, or they say that they haven't been running as much. I'm like, you can walk 7 miles. Go stand out in the sun for like an hour and a half.
Right.
Or walk around casually in the sun for like an hour and a half.
See how you do.
See how you're feeling. Bring some fluids. Bring some electrolytes. Bring some a snack with you or something. Just it's the heat that's going to hurt you.
It really is.
It's not the distance.
Yeah. And packed with all those people. You forget that too.
And getting there early and having to just manage waiting in a porta potty line.
It's not your regular running morning. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a hard time recommending that people. I think as many people want to run Falmouth should run Falmouth. But when I talk to legit runners, I say, look, your experience is going to be difficult. It's going to be a difficult experience because
unless you can run it 1 year and then come back the next year and be in that first corral, which is a nice time.
Yes, it is.
I got to run. You let me run with the elite runners
one
year.
Did,
that ended up being. I ran with the elite runners for about 500 feet, and then I had a bike valet with me the entire time.
And they are off, ladies and gentlemen.
But it was fun because there was no one else on the course at that point. It was just me and the bike valet, and I was like, "This is nice."
One of the main jobs I did, I handled a lot of registration for Falmouth. As a matter of fact, I didn't just handle registration, but back in the day when we had paper applications, I would stuff envelopes at my house with paper, and then I'd help process them. I hand numbered that race for, I would say probably 20 years. And there's people, and I don't, maybe some of your viewers will know this, but there were people that got the same number each year, and that's because I did it, because I made sure I went and found them, right?
Yeah.
And then for good runners, I thought it was really important for good local runners to give you the opportunity to be up there.
It was awesome.
And
thank you for that experience. I had such a, that's one of my favorite road race experiences ever.
Awesome.
And I was just that was at a point where I was not as known as I am now, but people knew who live in town, knew who I was. And so I got enough people while I was running, be like, Juliana, yeah. I just felt like the biggest celebrity in the entire world. Granted, I was not, definitely was not.
But you earned it. You earned your way there. I mean, every once in a while we put people in the first group to say, hey, go and experience it and everything like this, and then stand off to the side, let people go.
Yeah.
You we're no slouch at all.
I ran at least a 7 to a 7:30 the entire way to the end. So I wasn't phoning it in, but I wasn't also running 6 minute pace, 5 minute pace, whatever. So.
But for local, I mean, you were always near the top.
Yeah, I've won top local twice.
Yeah, that's it.
So I put in the work, Yeah. I like to run.
Yeah. And it's always great as an organizer to be able to do that for good local runners. So it was,
It's definitely a lot of fun being, I can definitely agree, like being on the Cape Cod Marathon board now and like behind the scenes, like being able to like just pull the strings a little bit.
Right.
Like for you, it's not a big deal. Like even like with me announcing the races on the Saturday and the Sunday, having people be like, hey, like my family member, this is their birthday, or like we've had a couple of stories where someone's like, this is their first run back after cancer or something like that, and being able to like make a big deal out of it as they come across the finish line. For me, it's really not that much extra work, and I like maybe tried a little bit harder, had to pull like one string, but for that person, it just like blows them out of the water with the experience that they're having.
I think when you organize enough races or you're involved, it's really easy to lose sight of just how transformative the experience can be. That's the experience of running, the experience of training to get to. And I remember there was a period in time when I had lost that for Falmouth. And then when I realized there's so many people that's their marathon, like that's what they train for.
Oh, exactly.
Or they train in, it's really important. And
they're sitting there for like, you and I, like having run like multiple marathons, like 7 miles, like is not anything to gawk at. But like when you get to a certain point, it's not this like the frightening level of a marathon. 100%. And so you have these, like you and I would sit and be like, oh no, I have to run a marathon tomorrow. It's like, oh no. These people are having the same reaction to like the 7 mile distance, which I think is adorable. And I was also that person too when I ran Falmouth the first time. So it's just like, we don't realize like how life-changing and life-altering and just like mind-shaking this whole experience is for these people.
And again, a race like Falmouth, you even pointed out that there's the bus ride there, there's a wait there.
Yeah, you're getting there at like 4, 5, 6 a.m., which is the main reason, besides the buses, that I don't like take the buses to the starting line, because I'm like, I either run there as part of my long run if I'm training for a marathon.
And that's where we stop the conversation.
Yeah.
Cars are not good for... No. Cars are one of the reasons why Falmouth gets delayed.
Oh, yes. No.
So you always run.
I always run. I don't think I've never had anyone drive me. I either run or I take like a leisurely like 1 to 2 hour walk, and I like have like a nice drink, and I'm like walking along the bike path and I'm watching the sunrise. I'm like, what a pleasant, like who would ever take the bus?
Yeah. Oh man, if we had more time, there's so many stories about what's happened on the bike path.
Oh
like
my gosh,
crazy things have happened on the bike path.
I believe that.
Or the story of one of my jobs for a long time before Dave McGilvey got involved was I would pick up the timers. We have Massachusetts track and field officials because the prize purse is so extensive at Falmouth.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It was over $120,000. It was the largest non-marathon purse in the world for a race. We bring the officials down, so I would get a minivan, I'd go to the finish line, I'd pick up the timers, and then I'd drive them down. But we'd go down course because, of course, Woods Hole Road, it was just a mess.
Yeah.
But we'd get stuck behind people driving. And here I got the timers. I'm looking at the watch. I'm like, all right, we need to go. Can we move along?
It's wild to see how many people, like, no matter how many times you write, like, do not drive here, like, do not drop people off, because I usually come at it from the old Cape Cod Marathon course, back through the backside.
Road,
kind of near where the knob is, and then I head that way, and they block it off around where, like, your mile 18 used to be of that course. And just the number of people I have, like, almost running me over, trying to get past there and getting stopped by the police. I'm like, my friends.
Yeah.
There were many things that said we should not be doing this.
Right. And
don't do it.
And now you're making it worse by rushing or by trying to go around.
Your runner probably isn't going to get to the starting line. And then I also see people getting dropped off at that point and walking. I'm like, oh, my friends, you, one, picked the hilliest way you could possibly get here. Right. And two, I think you underestimated how far it is from this spot right here to where it's at least 2 miles, like at an absolute minimum. Yeah. And they're like, I'm like, this was a choice that you made for yourself.
Yeah.
And I just keep running because I'm like, I knew the hills in the distance were here. This is why I'm here. But like, you did not.
Yeah.
I like pity on your souls. It must suck to walk up that golf course hill. I hate that golf course hill.
It's brutal.
That's like, me and that golf course hill have a known rivalry.
Did you run the marathon when it was?
That was my first marathon I ever did.
I ran that course twice.
I think that's the most challenging marathon course I've ever done.
We would train for that for Boston because it would make Boston easy.
Well, I ran Old Cape Cod as my first marathon, and then I got a Falmouth Running Club bib as my second one for Boston. And I remember I came up over Heartbreak Hill, and someone, because I had been training on the Old Cape Cod Marathon course too, because people are like, Boston is so hilly, it's so hilly, like you have to be ready for Heartbreak Hill. And I get up over Heartbreak Hill, and someone's like, you did it. I'm like, I look at them, I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, right.
And they're like, you came over Heartbreak. I'm like,
well, that was it.
Isn't that coming? Like,
Yeah,
and they're
right.
like, no, you're here. I'm like,
yeah.
because like the golf course hill and the Sippawisset hills, like back to back to back, is like so much worse than anything at
really
Boston.
is. Yeah, and it's at 20. It's right.
Oh,
at,
yeah.
Although
it keeps you nice
heartbreak is at 22, but it's at
That golf
20
course
as well.
hill keeps you very honest.
Oh, yeah.
Did you
Yeah.
train?
Yeah.
You'll know.
Yeah.
You'll know.
Yeah.
It's very obvious when you get to that hill.
When we changed the course, that was one of the things that I missed. I thought that was I thought it was changed for good reason.
Logistically, that old
Oh,
course
yeah.
was like Tom Landers Road, like the absolute
everything.
nightmare.
Oh, once they put the
and like that, the second exchange zone where
Yes. Yeah.
like absolute, like there,
Yeah.
some of these things, the logistical behind it was like absolute nightmare fuel.
But the course itself was just such a great run, and I don't know how many times I did. We did 1 to 20. For our 20 miler, we would do 1 to 20, which we'd drop a car off at the Clam Shack.
Oh, yeah.
And then another car. So I'm sorry, we drop a car off in Woods Hole, and then drive to the Clam Shack. That's at mile 1.
Yep.
For the old course, and then
Yes.
run the course, and you'd get into Woods Hole.
Yeah.
And then go to Coffee O, get something to eat, refuel, and
I'll do what I call the long Juliana sometimes when I shoot up from my place up Gifford, and then I pick up Tom Landers and I do the whole back half of it's
that's
about
awesome.
19 miles.
Yeah.
But I just literally do like every single hill that's part of the old Cape Cod Marathon. I just do it. I'm like, yep, okay, we're gonna go. Do we hate ourselves today? Maybe.
I don't know. Coming backwards on that can be just as bad.
Oh, that hill going in reverse is just as terrible.
Yeah, that's.
Me and that hill have a known rivalry. Like I have eyeballs on that hill. Like we will die, both of me first probably. Sworn enemies.
My other favorite running course is Falmouth Road Race up and back. That's such a great 14-mile run. I wanted for the longest time. I wanted to do a Falmouth in the winter. I had an idea to do a 10-mile half marathon. I had plans to do that. The organizers, the board, and some of the other people in Falmouth didn't want to do it. But that to me, and doing it in the winter is just stunning sometimes. I've done it in a snowstorm.
Oh, yeah.
I've done it when it's been frozen, when Nantucket Sound it looks like you could walk on the ice to Martha's Vineyard. But that to me is one of my favorite routes to run, is up and back.
I think it's got just enough like stunning vistas in
Yes.
it. Like you come up over past the church and you come down that first hill where you finally get like Knobsco Light kind of
That's
revealed to
amazing.
you.
Yep.
And you're just like, wow. And then you come around Knobsco Light and you see that little area that has like the stones that I really love, and you're just like, wow. And then you come out to Surf Drive and you're just like, wow. And it's just like a lot of like really just like nice moments that I also agree to look like really nice in the winter.
Yeah.
I'm just like, ooh, the look of like a frozen rock in the ocean is a nice time for me. Do I want to be out there in the cold? Not really, but do I like these views? Yes.
And I'm always amazed that the most vulnerable point of the road race course is also one of my most favorite, because you're literally running like not a stone's throw away from the water, but like a spit away from the water.
Oh yeah, up on Falmouth Heights Hill.
No, when you come past the bike path, so right past mile 3.
Yep, right around to Surf Drive.
The water is right there. It's literally right there, and that's what's going to eventually ruin that course. But it's just going to overrun it one day, and the town's going to be like,
we're not rebuilding that road.
We can't. I've already said by 2030 they're not going to service that road.
Probably not.
No, it's in
been
the plans.
destroyed so many times.
Yeah, it's in the plans. They're not.
Yeah, that and that portion of the bike path, like that's been destroyed like multiple times over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, it was my least favorite part of the new course for marathon was that bike path.
Was it our second year? It might have been the first year. No, I think it was the second year.
The storm?
Yeah, that blew that bike path out, and they like just repaired it enough for us to not have to like go to the US. Is it USC? I would say it wrong. The USTCF, USFCF, blah blah blah.
USATF?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
I can never remember the acronym, but to go to them to have them remeasure our course.
Right.
But it was like the diversion was just slight enough because it was still technically on the bike path.
Yep.
And there was like a teeny bit where you could possibly go off the bike path where they had like diverted around that big hole that was there. And so we measured it out exactly. We didn't have to like have them remeasure it or anything.
But did you run that year? That was the year that it was a massive storm that day. When you came,
yes.
the wind right there was on another level.
It was hailing on us.
Yeah, that was one of the worst winds I've ever.
That was the year I did the Chowder Challenge for the first time.
It came directly across from me. So you came out of the woods on the bike path. And then it got worse because you got onto Surf Drive, took a right directly into the wind.
Oh yeah, I've never in my life have I ever been hailed on the eyeballs again, and also had to be at such an angle that I was literally like, me and Mike Falcone were running together.
Yeah, right.
And so like both of us were like literally at like this much of an angle because if you didn't, you were gone.
Yeah.
Like the wind would catch you and like you were like adios. And I was like trying to describe it to people who like didn't see it. And like no one really captured any videos, and so I was like, okay, it was like 40 mile an hour, 50 mile an hour winds, like, and there's no covering.
Nothing.
You're just there. You're there.
No. I remember the water stop there. They couldn't do anything. They had to take the water stop down.
Yeah, they took it away.
Yeah, because the wind was just blowing everything.
Yep. That's when I was like that's actually my marathon PR is actually from that year.
Oh, of course.
And I'm like, I could have run at least like 4 to 5 minutes faster if that had not been the case. I was in great shape that year.
Right.
Never again.
Oh,
Never
so
again.
funny.
But yeah.
So you mentioned something, my favorite shoe.
Yes, let's do our, what shoe do you choose to use, Matt? So what's your favorite shoe you've ever run in, shoe that lives rent-free in your brain, or you can mention more than one shoe, your current favorite running shoe.
Yeah, so the funny thing is I'd been a Nike guy for so long, and I forget where I fell off. There was a period of time in my life when I didn't run.
Yeah. You were always in the Pegasus?
I was always in the Pegasus.
I think we're up to like 42 or 41, somewhere in that frame of reference on the Peg right now.
And I've heard nothing but good things about them. But of course, you'd have to buy them only from online because you can't get them anywhere.
Yeah. Dick's like sometimes carries Nike shoes.
Right.
I think I'll give you some inside baseball, Matt. They don't work well with like shoe retail places because they will like.
It's a minimum.
Well, the main problem is that usually to like make their money back in like running shoe retail, you have to sell the shoes like either at full price or like pretty close to it to make the margin up. And Nike will largely discount their shoes on their website. So people will go into the store and be like, oh, I can buy the Nike Pegasus for like $140, but on the Nike website, it's like $90. And they are always running sales. So like the motivation for someone to like buy it in the store versus online is like -5.
So I don't know if it makes me super old to have to want to feel and try the shoe on before I do it, but I have to.
Oh, no, I like doing that.
Okay. So
as the person who has about 45 to 50 shoes in their rotation right now, you know.
So my favorite shoe, I was wearing white in the. I forget how I came across it, and I remember I wore it, and then New Balance became a sponsor to Falmouth Road Race, and it didn't make any sense for me. So they came in 2011. That was the year I was the interim director. So they couldn't have the person that literally met with them
not wearing New Balance.
Not wearing New Balance, and then of course it was easy to get New Balance shoes. So I ran in New Balance for a while. I can't tell you which ones I ran. I know that for a while I needed support.
Maybe the 860 then. We'll theorize it was the 860.
Yeah. It was definitely somewhere in the 800s. Yeah. So when I got away from the road race, I didn't want to keep calling up the person who got my shoes because I don't like to be that person.
Yeah.
And I kind of moved around. I can't remember the other shoe that I wore, but I came across the shoe that I had been running on that I loved, and I fell back in love with them. And I had no idea. They're the most popular shoe in the country.
Brooks Ghost?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the shoe I saw you coming into. I was like,
I had no idea. And I came across it, and like every time I'd run in them, they just felt perfect. They just felt like they had the right amount of support.
Yep.
Now, I had Achilles tendinosis for 14 years. I went to a doctor. What my primary care physician told me, I'm not sending you to anyone anymore. The orthopedist that I went to said, we can see that your Achilles tendon is thickened, but there's no damage, there's no bump, there's no nothing. There was a point that if you pushed on it, it would make my eyes water. He said, you're probably just never going to be able to run again.
And you said, I don't think so.
Well, you know what I said to my wife? Because that's who you really have to talk to.
Yeah, not the doctors.
I said, well, I guess I'm just going to go until it gives out.
Yeah.
And it went away.
Yeah.
And it went away.
Yeah.
I don't think I was wearing my Brooks Ghost, and I don't know what I was wearing at the time. So I don't know if there's any connection. Now, I recently, and I think it's because I tried to do too much mileage. I wasn't really being consistent. I was running 3.5 miles with my wife every day, but then on the weekends I would go out and do like maybe a 10-mile run or something like that.
Yeah.
And I now did something to my left calf. My Achilles tendinosis was always on the right. So I don't know what it is. And I'm a little bit worried that the most recent Brooks, I think I'm in 16s, might be the reason. That's what I meant to say.
It sounds like to me you need a higher drop shoe because the Ghost used to be a 10mm shoe. The newest iteration is an 8.
It is
which
down.
Possibly could be why. And especially if you're someone who deals with a lot of Achilles problems, having that little extra heel lift really makes a big difference.
Yeah, I think I found when I started coming back, I think I was wearing a shoe. It might have been a Hoka, like a Biondi or something like that.
Yeah.
Or Bondi.
Bondi.
That I think that got me back. So I don't know, but it's so funny because, again, I feel so old when I'm like, I feel a certain amount of obligation to, and I don't know what other shoes are like. We have 2 kids. We have no money, and I want to spend all my money on my son's running stuff.
Yeah.
So I've been able to find the Ghost 16s at like $89.
At a pretty good price.
Yeah. So I'm like, well, maybe I'll just I'll keep doing that. But
if you know it's a shoe that works well for you, like don't fix it if it ain't broke.
But I don't know, I'm shocked to hear. And your words mean more to me now that they did drop that.
Yeah, that was a really, honestly, like in the running shoe world, the last like couple of months, it's been a pretty big controversy. The Brooks Ghost itself, I mean, as the
17 the same or the?
I think they're on the 17.
No, I know. Did the 17's at 8?
So no, so in the last couple of months, they just dropped the newest iteration of the Ghost.
Okay.
And people have been up in arms. Because the Ghost is kind of like the vanilla blase, vanilla ice cream, like consistent, like no one really knows they're there until they put them on shoe. Like it's like you put it on, it's invisible, it's not there. It has no personality really, it adapts to you. The last shoe iteration of the Ghost got like a couple extra millimeters of stack height and also reduced from the 10 to the 8mm drop. And so a lot of people who like that like kind of more ground feeling shoe and like that aggressive drop are like really upset because the Ghost has like, Brooks has largely been like consistent. Boring, but consistent.
Right.
And like they've been trying to shake it up. And I think they're missing their customer base a little bit.
So I bought one pair of Launch because I remember I liked the Ghost so much, and the Launch is a really cheap version of it.
Yeah.
And I almost ruined myself with those. They were horrible.
It's a completely different foam, and it's definitely
I
a
did
lot
not
lower
like
to the
it at
ground.
all. But I went back to the Ghost, and it was good for so long.
Yeah.
And now.
You could also try the Glycerin too if you're looking for like a slightly higher cushion option.
Yeah,
That's what I got. This is the Glycerin GTS. These are my walking shoes. So.
Yes, and I tell people all the time, I don't run in my walking shoes and I don't walk in my running shoes. Until I retire the running shoes, of course.
Yeah.
Then
Once in a while, I'll do that.
Oh, I do it all the time.
I have a full set. I have at least like 9 of my shoes in my shoe rotation are like strictly walking shoes.
Okay.
Someone came over the other night. They're like, "Do you have nighttime walking shoes versus daytime walking shoes?" I was like, "You better bet I do." I have this many shoes for a reason, my friends.
I do, and then the other thing I've been trying to maintain the miles, like
track your miles on your shoes.
Yeah, because I think I try to average like 450.
Okay.
Which I feel is like in the middle ground. It can be higher. I definitely can't afford like 200.
Yeah, I'd say like 3. Most shoes are probably gonna get you safely to around like 3 to 350.
And that's the great part about being an older, don't care what I'm doing runner. I'm like, I can stretch that. can stretch it.
I mean, honestly, you can stretch it out even more if you run on soft surfaces.
I know.
Like
I
you can
know.
really if you could
But
probably
soft
get
surfaces also are where roots and rocks are.
That's true too.
And in high school, my sophomore year was a phenomenal year for me. Going into junior year, everything was great until I went into BB Woods.
Took a fall.
Was running with Tom Turkington, my cross-country coach. He said, "Why don't you go ahead?" I went around the corner, hit a root, snapped my ankle.
Yep.
It was like a 4th-degree sprain. It was so bad. The doctor said, "Well, it would have been better if you just broke it." So
Trails are places where you either have you just fall and you're like, I just fell on dirt and now everything is fine, or you slam into a rock and you get a concussion.
Right.
Like there's no middle ground when you're running on trails. It's like I fell and I was completely fine, or I fell and I destroyed myself for a life.
Yeah.
Like the pavement falls, it's largely just it's that middle zone.
Yeah.
But trails, it's kind of like.
So the real question is am I doing right by my son with the Hokas?
I mean, I think so. I think my thing with younger kids is putting them in a neutral shoe for the most part. You don't want to, unless they really are someone who the podiatrist has been hey, they need an insole, they need a sport shoe or something like that, or they have a really wacky running gait where it's just you're gonna hurt yourself if you continue running like that. Having a neutral shoe is probably the best thing to do. There's not really enough science and data around the carbon plated versus the non-carbon plated and the high cushion versus the low cushion and things like that. It sounds like he's got a good variety of shoes too. My thing is having at least 2 or 3 shoes in your rotation.
100%.
And because it trains different muscles, it allows, like you said, having the heavier shoe versus the lighter shoe, so that way your muscles are trained to pick up the pace while wearing the heavier shoe. It's kind of like weight training. Your legs.
The other thing I picked up with him was, and I didn't realize how valuable this was until I read about it somewhere, is I have him use his spikes more than I come from the
mentality
of you only use it at races. Right?
Yeah.
This was there. But I told them, I said, well, I want you to get used to these. I don't want these to affect your feet.
Exactly.
And so we're going to practice them like we practice with anything else. So and he has cross-country spikes, he's got indoor spikes, and he has outdoor spikes. And we don't use the spikes as much too. I tell him, well, why put that on there? The better chance to hurt yourself, first of all. And if it's a dry day, the tracks that we're running on.
Yeah, you don't need the spikes.
No.
Especially if you're not actually going for a specific time, or you're not actually racing.
No, even with racing, I haven't. He's been. And the final thing about him, we went to Athens, Georgia after.
I thought you were going to say Athens, Greece.
No,
we went to the site of the first marathon ever. I was wow.
My sister was there. She said, she knew about our running. She doesn't run herself, but she said, you should check out this running store. They had a gait analysis. They had a treadmill.
And
so I was like, sure, we haven't done this with him. Why don't we do this? So we get there. They get him all set up, and then they put him on, and he starts running. And I gasped when I was watching him run, because he had such a pure form.
Yeah.
It was there was nothing. He didn't over, he didn't under, he didn't pronate, he didn't supinate, he didn't just, and I did it, and the owner of the store was standing next to me, and she said, are you seeing what I'm seeing? And I was like, I had no idea.
Yeah.
That that's one of his superpowers. His other one is, I can tell when we go on the track, I can say, I want you to do a 75, and he won't just get 75. He'll get 75.00.
Yeah, he gets it exactly.
He did 800s one time, and we were working on trying to get him to break 5. And I said, look, why don't we go 235s? Okay. I didn't want him using his watch. I wanted him to do a feel.
Yeah, does it almost exactly to
6 235s.
Yeah.
60. I took a picture of it. I have it somewhere on my phone, because I was like, who does this? What? So,
I'm not that dialed in.
No, I don't know. He doesn't look like he's dialed in, and sometimes
it sounds like he just kind of knows his body.
Yeah, it's been so much fun. It's the highlight of my life right now.
Yeah.
It's just so fun to watch something that I love doing go to somebody that I love so much and want him to be successful. I think the hardest part is just making sure, I don't push them too hard or
yeah,
and it's
make them feel like it's a chore or
right,
something.
right.
Yeah.
At the same time, letting them know that the things that we want to work for are work.
Yeah,
You
you
know?
actually have to, if you want to achieve goals, you do actually
Right.
have to put in time and effort.
And I don't know, maybe I'm sure you have an idea, or your audience knows that trackflation is bonkers. It's absolutely, I mean, 6 kids in the United States ran sub-4 last year. 6 in 1 year.
Yeah, I know, it's wild.
The 800-meter record was broken. It was a 1996 record. A kid from Texas, a sophomore. He's 7, I think he just turned 17. 1:45:25.
I think it was at the Worlds this year. Was it Worlds or whatever the track?
Worlds haven't happened yet. They're happening.
What was the track competition that happened this year where they like Nagus and like all these people were just like one person broke a record and like 5 minutes later someone came through and like broke the record again. There was like a wild
last
succession.
year Nagus ran
Was it the
3:43.
Olympics?
No. Last year he ran it at the Prefontaine. In the
yes.
Olympics, of course, what was significant about that was Cole Hawker took the gold medal. But I just saw a quick video with somebody saying that 3,200 this year was won in 8:33. The fastest time in the country, 8:33. When they compared it to 10 years ago, the fastest time was 8:55. Mm-hmm. They had to go down 57 places to get to 8:55.
Yeah.
So in 10 years, that like 8:57 doesn't, or 8:55 doesn't really do anything for you. So it's fascinating to be working with somebody who's young, who has some potential, and to wonder, God, well, am I going to do the right thing? Is he doing the right thing? And right now our coaching at Mashpee is, not as dialed in for an athlete at his level. So it's kind of me and him. So
just kind of on your own.
Yeah.
Just kind of like, okay, which is good and bad.
But we've made it to 3 national championships. He went to cross country,
Nice.
indoor and and spring. So I think it's looking up.
Sounds good to me.
So.
I mean, he's achieved more than I have, so you know.
You've done some great
I've
things.
won Paul White at least once, and that's it. You know, I'm going to keep running longer distances. So find me on the trail somewhere. I'll be out there doing things. You know.
Awesome.
Got a 50-miler coming up in this
Crazy.
fall. Yeah, it is wild. I know. You've
better
entered.
human than me.
You know, you've entered the weird version of like existence as a trail runner when you just like casually sign up for a 50-miler and you're like, I'll figure it out.
Right? Oh man.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
It's fine. Like, do I have a training plan for it? No. I'll figure it out.
Maybe when my kids are away, I can start looking into that. But right now, it's just so focused on getting up, getting them going, doing that.
You'll have time to fill after they like go to college and stuff.
Yeah.
So you'd be like, I'm bored. Maybe I'll just go run like a cash like 30 miles right now.
Right,
you know,
right.
just a chill.
Yeah.
Chill 50. You know, nice
awesome.
like spicy jaunt.
Well, congratulations. I'm envious of that kind of distance.
Yeah, don't be. It's not for everyone. People are like, I wish I could run that far. I'm like, you don't have to, though.
Right.
You don't have to. Like, I understand that I'm part of a very, very, very small, concentrated group of people, especially as a female in the trail running scene. Like, it's me and like 5 of the ladies. That's like it. It's like, yep, it's just us. It's just us.
Another one of my experiences, I was out in Further for Lululemon, and we watched Camille Herron set all those world records. I was
really
actually
cool.
there when she crossed over to set the world record.
That's
I
so
actually
cool.
have pictures of her because I was part of helping with the timing team. I had 2 roles there. I was there for Dimsey, Dave McGilvery's outfit. We put the course together and all the logistics, and then I was helping with timing. So whenever she was approaching setting a world record, I mean, she set it in like the 100K, 200K, the 300K,
Wild.
the 400K.
Wild.
We had to take a picture when she went over the line.
Yeah, for proof.
So like 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm out on
like-
this. Yeah.
Excited, but also very tired. Those
So-
things can exist together.
So I have a lot of respect for people that can run farther than a marathon.
I don't know if I want to do like the overnight distances because like the running in the dark is not like my forte. Especially like in the mountains.
Right.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, this was just a 2.5 mile loop not in the mountains.
This I might consider.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I could find my foulding in that. I have friends who do like 100 milers that like go through the mountains, and I'm like, I don't choose violence on that level and want to be like bouldering at 2 a.m. in the dark.
No,
thanks.
As exhausted as you are.
Yeah, like barely awake, like bouldering at 2 a.m. No. I'm good. But okay, I think that was good, Matt.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for coming on.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Is there anywhere that you want like people to like, if they have questions for you, or do you have like an email or like an Instagram or something like that you want to refer them to, or do you want to just say, find me out in the world?
I mean, I'm on Strava. I love to connect with people on Strava, and I work my best friend.
Shout out your shop in town.
Yeah, my best friend and I opened up a shop called Eugene Henry's Gastronomical Delights. It's a awesome, fun food store. Gastronomical is of the stomach, and
you have like very, very eclectic selection of sodas and things like that.
Yeah, fun sodas, and we opened up in Mashpee this November, and that's where I am. So in Mashpee Commons, that's where you'll find me. Pretty much 9 to 2 each day.
Okay.
Except for the weekends. And even if you go to the Falmouth store, they know how to connect with me in Mashpee. So,
I didn't realize I was just at the Mashpee Commons. What day was that? Sunday? I had no idea that you had a store there.
Yeah,
I would have popped in because we were just like me and.
Well, I'm not there on Sundays. Saturdays and Sundays I take off. I got a family right now.
Yeah.
I want to spend as much time as I can with them.
I still would have gone to check it out, you know?
Yeah.
Because I've seen the one here in town.
It's very similar to them. Once you've seen one, you've kind of seen the other.
Okay. But go visit them.
Yeah.
The one in Falmouth on Main Street, and the one in Mashpee and the Mashpee Commons.
Yep.
So.
And then I'm running in Mashpee with my son, or on the bike. He's quick. And we're going to try to get to some races at some point.
Nice.
Chase after those Gartner boys.
Yeah, that's a challenge. that is a challenge.
My son he's doing some similar times to when those boys were at his age. So
we should just get Ben Flanagan in here to go running with him too. You know.
Kenny keeps on trying to get them all together. So
I believe that
we'll get there. I want to make sure when my son goes out there, he can do it comfortably and not hurt himself. So.
If anyone is classic track club dad, it is Ken Gardner.
Yes. Yeah.
He is that.
Have
person.
you had him on the show?
Not yet.
Yeah,
I will though.
He's a good one, without a doubt. The youth stuff that he's done.
And
he's calmed down. I don't mind saying that. If he's watching the show,
he's calmed down.
He has calmed down.
I also find Ken very funny.
Because
he uses the same like intonation for everything that he ever says, and I love it. Because sometimes you have to really listen to him, but he can make some really ripping jokes.
And he has some amazing stats. Like I'm pretty sure when
I
was at the road race, he probably has the overall record for the number of sub 40-minute Falmouths.
Probably.
I mean, the guy was just a monster for so long. And
he's
still, I don't want to take anything away from him.
His slow running is like 7:30 miles. As like an older person, like slow running. I'm like, that's fast running for a meet.
Yeah. I would say if there was a Hall of Fame of running in Falmouth, he would
Ken Gardner.
Yeah.
Automatic
first
entry.
Ballot automatic.
We should just call it the Ken Gardner Running Hall of Fame of Falmouth.
There you go.
Maybe if we get enough funding.
Something, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe the road race wants to do like a little like history.
That's a good idea. I'm sure that the running club would get behind it too.
Yeah, we just have to find a space. We have to figure out what we're putting in this Hall of Fame.
Oh, we might need to talk about this later.
I'm never short of ideas. The day that I run out of ideas is the day that I die, because then my brain just shuts down.
Right.
But,
awesome.
Okay, well, awesome, Matt. Thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
And thank you, friends, for watching the show today. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're watching over on YouTube or on Spotify. And don't forget that you can find us on Runnah on Instagram at RunnahPod, and then you can also send me an email if you're looking to get any more information about anything we talked about today to runnahpod@gmail.com. And then we will see you guys next week in your favorite local running community. Bye.
Bye.
That was great, Matt.
Awesome.
Nice job.
Yeah, I appreciate it. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think that was good.
I think it's been a long time since I've had an opportunity to talk running with anybody.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Runnah. This podcast is edited, hosted, and produced by me, Juliana Coughlin. Brought to you in part by the Falmouth Running Club and the Falmouth Community TV Station. If you'd like to connect with us, you can find us on Instagram and on TikTok at runnapod, and you can send us an email at runnapod@gmail.com. And our original theme music was brought to you by the one and the only wonderful Jeffrey Hutton. And keep up the great work. I'm proud of you.